Africa. And now the details. The presidency has said the Department of State Services DSS does not need the permission of President Muhammadu Buhari to do its work whenever it needs to act. The presidency said this while reacting to the prosecution of Omoyele Sowore by Nigeria's secret police. Presidential spokesman Garba Shehu noted that Showere's antecedents and actions ordinarily makes him a person of interest to the DSS. The presidency added that no government will allow anybody to openly call for destabilization in the country and do nothing. He said so far the agency had acted within its constitutional powers and did not need to seek Buhari's approval to act on security matters. Shehu, in the statement circulated in the media, stressed that Nigeria's democracy was a long time in the making and was achieved after decades of often harsh military-led overthrows of government, which is the kind of situation Sowore was advocating. The presidency therefore submitted that Sowore was no ordinary citizen, expressing his rights as perceived by the public, but a former presidential candidate and a convener of revolution protests against a democratic government. Meanwhile, the Department of State Service DSS says the circulation of a video of an attempt to rearrest the convener of the Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, in the courtroom was mischief. Public Relations Officer of DSS, Peter Funaya, in a statement said the video was meant to serve as propaganda to bring the service to disrepute. He said the statement was in response to the serial misinformation being circulated in the media on the involvement of the service in the incident that occurred at the Federal High Court. Afunaya stated senior advocates of Nigeria, Femi Falana, who is counsel to Sowore, had during the court proceedings informed the judge that he was suspicious of a move by the service to rearrest his client. He added the court discountenanced the suspicion, noting that the service was law-abiding and will not engage in the act, adding that when Sowore stepped out of the court and cited operatives of the service within the premises, he ran back into the courtroom. The DSS said it holds the judiciary in utmost respect and will continue to work with it for national peace and public safety. In the meantime, the United States government has expressed concerns over the rearrest of the convener of the Revolution Now movement and former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, by the Department of State Security Services. The U.S. State Department, in a tweet, urged the Nigerian government to respect the rule of law, judicial independence, political and media freedom, adding that due process should be the tenets of democracy. Sowore was rearrested and eventually detained barely 24 hours after the security agency had released him following a 24-hour ultimatum issued by Justice Ijeoma Ojukwu of a federal high court in Abuja. The Senate had said it will not declare the seat of a convicted Chief Whip, Orji Uzor Kalu, vacant. The Senate spokesperson, Godia Akwashiki, disclosed this to newsmen over the weekend. Akwashiki said no provision in the Nigerian Constitution says the seat of a senator facing prosecution or convicted at the lower court should be declared vacant. He added that Kalu's seat will not be declared vacant until he has explored all the legal options available to him without success. The Federal High Court in Lagos on Thursday sentenced Kalu to 12 years in prison after convicting him of 7.6 billion naira fraud. The Comptroller General of Nigeria Immigration Service, NIS, Mohammed Babandede, has said that the federal government's plans to introduce a new visa regime to boost the economy. Babandede stated this while speaking with newsmen in Abuja. The Comptroller General of Nigeria Immigration Service of NIS noted that the new visa regime will be unveiled by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, before the end of this year. Babandede said the regime will put Nigeria in line with global practices, adding that the system will be transparent and security will not be compromised. Advocacy group Community Anti-Graft Initiative has called for more transparency and accountability in the delivery of corporate social investment projects to Rivers communities and Niger Delta at large. President of the group, Uche Odungweru, said this in commemoration of this year's International Anti-Corruption Day. Odungweru urged traditional institution community leaders, CDCs, community youths and women to take advantage of some of the anti-corruption standards such as the Freedom of Information Act and the principle of transparency in contracts to demand for accountability in corporate social investment programs.
It is not enough for multinational companies to announce how much they have spent on oil-bearing community as part of their corporate social responsibility. It is rather important for us to know whether these corporate social investment projects actually measures the amount of money spent on it. With the lack of transparency and accountability in the implementation of corporate social investment budgets of multinational companies operating in Niger Delta, communities are not free enough to know the amount of projects executed by oil companies in their domain. It is a lack of trust, lack of truth, and lack of transparency in the implementation of corporate social investment program that has resulted to certain corrupt behaviors and practices of our community people that hinders development.
You're listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM. After the break, we'll be back with more stories. Just stay with us.
Stories break. Depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. It's 13 minutes after 7, and you're still listening to the World News here on Today 95.1 FM. The Rivers State government has directed the immediate release of the 500 million naira grant to the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education to enable it continue its transformation programs. Governor Nyesom Wike stated this during the 37th convocation ceremony of the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, Rumo Lumini, Port Harcourt. Represented by his deputy, Pali Buhari Banigo, Governor Wike said under his watch, the state government will continue to invest and take necessary measures to strengthen the university to deliver on its mandate for the development of the Rivers people and the greater good of the state.
That you have enhanced the university's carrying capacity, successfully mounting new academic programs, and you have graduated your first set of doctorate degree students today. These are all achievements worthy of our commendation. University, I have directed the immediate release of 500 million naira grant to enable you continue with your transformational program. I wish to assure you that we shall continue to invest and take necessary practical measures to strengthen the university to deliver on its great mandate for the development of our people and for the greater good of our dear state.
Governor Wike, who re-emphasized the state government's zero tolerance for cultism, sexual harassment, examination malpractice, sorting, sales of handouts, and extortion of students, directed the university administration to investigate and weed out any lecturer or staff who engages in money for grade, sex for grade, and other untoward practice in the tertiary institution.
Let me further re-emphasize the state government's zero tolerance for cultism, sexual harassment, examination malpractice, sorting, sale of handouts, and extortion of students. In this menace, I hereby direct the university administration to take necessary steps to investigate and weed out any lecturer or other staff who engages in money for grade, X for grade, and other untoward practices in our tertiary institutions. We must rescue our university from moral and sexual perverts. We must keep our universities safe and healthy for effective impartation of knowledge to take place.
Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Ozo Mekuri Ndimeli, said a total of 3,169 graduates, made up of 45 doctors of philosophy, 1,070 master's degrees holders, 391 postgraduate diplomas, 1,654 bachelor degree, and 9 certificates. In another development, following the completion of the biometric data capture, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has approved the inclusion of 2,673 additional retirees into the monthly pension payment scheme of the state government. Director General of the board, Rivers State Pension Board, Ijoma Samuel, in a statement said this is in addition to the 15,400 pensioners already receiving monthly pensions from the Wike administration. Samuel said the Rivers State Governor approved the inclusion of the 2,673 pensioners after the completion of their biometric data capture. The DG further disclosed that an ICT department will soon commence the biometric verification exercise for the next batch of public servants retiring from August and December 2019. Peace is reported to have been restored in Omerelu community in Ikwe local government area of Rivers State. This is according to the chairman, Community Development Committee of Omerelu, Ezekiel Wandikom, who said the peace was achieved with the efforts of stakeholders and the introduction of local vigilante in the area. Wandikom, who narrated how Omerelu became a den for criminals and center for cult clashes, said the youth saw the need to embrace peace in the interest of the community.
In a condition that is unbearable. But today I can tell you that Omerelu, because our youth have understood themselves and they are taking care, they have decided not to join any bad group in order not to destabilize Omerelu. So Omerelu is very fine.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidate in the November 16th governorship election in Kogi State, Musa Wada, has filed a petition at the Kogi State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal, sitting in Abuja, challenging the declaration of Governor Yahya Bello as winner of the election. PDP and Wada are claiming that the election was characterized by irregularities, violence, ballot snatching and stuffing, and non-compliance with the Electoral Act, Constitution, and INEC's guidelines for governorship. Wada said violence characterized the polls, which ended up with the killing of a PDP women leader, Salomi Abo. Now to the foreign scene, 4 gold miners who were trapped underground after a tremor caused a rock fall in northeast South Africa have been found dead. The National Union of Mine Workers said a 5th miner was rescued with serious injuries after the accident at the Tau Lekoa mine in the town of Orkney. Union President Joseph Motitete said the last person said they were suffocated. Deadly accidents involving miners are common in South Africa, which has the deepest mines in the world. Last year, 81 people died in the country's mines, according to the Department of Mineral Resources. Elsewhere, at least 43 people have died in a factory fire in India's capital, New Delhi, with the toll expected to rise. New Delhi's Deputy Chief Fire Officer, Sunil Shoderi, who confirmed the incident, said the blaze broke out in the city's old quarter, whose narrow and congested lanes are lined with many small manufacturing and storage units. Chaudhary said at least 50 people were rescued. He told AFP that majority of the victims were laborers and factory workers sleeping inside a 4 or 5-story building. Many factories and small manufacturing units in big Indian cities are often located in old cramped quarters of the cities where the cost of land is relatively cheap. Such units also often serve as sleeping quarters for poor, mostly migrant laborers and workers who manage to save money by sleeping overnight at their workplaces. And in entertainment, Chicago-born rapper Juice WRLD, one of the waves of young artists who made a name on streaming platforms before breaking out in the mainstream, has died. Juice WRLD died at the age of 21. The rising artist, whose real name was Gerard Higgins, suffered a medical emergency at Midway International Airport. TMZ reported that Higgins had suffered a seizure, but a statement from the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office in Illinois, sent to several U.S. media outlets, said Higgins had experienced an unknown medical issue and that an autopsy will be carried out. And in sports, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended world heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua for regaining his belt in a rematch with Mexican Andy Ruiz Jr. President Buhari, in a congratulatory message by his spokesman Femi Adesina, rejoiced with Joshua, saluting him for bringing joy to millions of Nigerians at home and in the diaspora. The president noted that Joshua's supporters across the world had rooted for him to regain the titles he lost 6 months ago. And now to end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. The presidency has defended the prosecution of Omoyele Sowore by the Department of State Services, DSS. The Nigerian Senate has said the seat of convicted former Abia State Governor Orji Uzor will not be vacated until all legal hurdles are exhausted. We also told you that Governor Nyesom Wike has approved the inclusion of over 2,000 pensioners into the Rivers State monthly pension payroll. And on the foreign scene, you heard that 4 gold miners have been found dead in South Africa. And that was the news as edited by Victor Ziyama. For comments and inquiries, please call 08153418657 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Annie Abdusalam. Thank you for listening. To have a good morning.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
What are your expectations for 2020? I'll tell you ours if you tell me yours. But first, let me walk you through our achievements so far in 2019. This year marks our 3-year anniversary in Port Harcourt with testimonies from happy investors who through our platform are excelling greatly. And in the spirit of celebration, we gave away a brand new car to a lucky winner. Also, we've been instrumental in the development of several small and medium-scale enterprises and empowering individuals. Next year, 2020, our targets are to set up offices at Dubai, London, and Ghana. Also, we plan to launch a Result Investment Limited app for all our investors. Now you know our plans, how about you fit us into yours? Don't forget, we offer 10% profit of any capital invested with us at Result Investment Limited. Visit us today at number 10 NTA Road, Checkpoint Junction, Rumokuta, Port Harcourt. For more inquiries, please call 0903 652 7708 or 0815-518-9002 or visit www.resultinvestmentnigerialimited.com.
It's the time of the year. Come, let's chill together. Pop Chivita, make we jolly. Ooh, yeah. All over Naija, anywhere you day. Share Chivita with your family and friends. Enjoy this Christmas. Oh, oh, oh. Let's celebrate. Chivita, ooh yeah.
Juice up the season with Chivita.
Never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
it. Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Remember the discovery.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
And those special moments that made them a family.
Let them say the say, and we do the do. My name is Annie Abdusalam.
Thank God for life. Thank God for hope. I'm Keku Tego, your host with the most, holding it down as usual.
Should I propose to my man? He's refusing to propose to me.
Every single day is a blessing. Every single day is a gift.
If you want a promotion in your current job, you have to work on getting a promotion in your current job.
Taking a look back from where it's all coming from. A Benjamin Bugsy Academy.
Nobody does that better than him.
No other station does it like we do. Today, 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Okay, ready? Are we rolling?
All right, we're rolling.
Live from the Garden City of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, this is Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. Voice of the People.
There is never a dull moment of this dial.
But let's get on now to what is happening here in Nigeria. In the southwest, we have 136, south 131, southeast 30. I'm not talking about the ones that died months ago. And Mr. President is busy traveling. The foundation in this democratic era we're experiencing today, honestly, believe me, the person who soiled it is Obasanjo. At the time he was tearing his party card, I was very ashamed. He didn't notice that he was tearing himself.
How long will you keep on complaining?
We keep you informed, thrilled, and inspired.
I need to select. I like every kind of woman. But man, light skin does it for me. No, I'm not racist. That's what I'm saying. No. I could take anybody. You know what I'm saying?
We are your Premium Talk News and Sports Radio. Today 95.1 FM. Don't touch that dial.
We've got to go. It's 11:31.
This is Today.
An English author and philosopher says, reading maketh a fool man, and writing an exact man. Writing tells truth to power and bears witness to our growth as individuals and as a society. Writing creates a place, a space, another world for others to experience. The hallmarks of human civilization. Reading and writing. Nation building is too urgent to be left solely in the hands of politicians alone. Viewed as a whole, reading and writing depicts the rich tapestry that is the people, culture, traditions, politics, and history of Nigeria. We at Today 95.1 FM believe that the reading culture must be encouraged among the young and old. The work of nation building is not yet done. It is an ongoing enterprise, proudly brought to you by Today. This message is proudly brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Hello, Mountain. That job done settle. The job done set. Now this night now go do amo. I wanna tidy that job well. I want clean job. About we done afan about them to call. I dey been one and laugh, man. In drop where but got the other men there, but they laugh my you understand. But one at this night, one at this night, you know I dey be 2 seconds, man. I just show, man. I just laugh.
Your premium talk news and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM. The news update on the headlines. Police confirms attack by hoodlums in a community last night, leaving few dead and many injured.
No day wey they know they talk about us on radio. Make we think this thing well. This men they use us cause trouble. Now we they spoil our society by ourselves.
True. Once she just ask me, say how did they get my cash? And you know say I know they work now. You know now she just they worry. But wait. Where the children them they safe? Oh. All of them die abroad just they enjoy self. Oh man, I will just do all the dirty work here. Don't see them now.
No. I don't want kill again. I don't tire. If I may ask, this our baba, where their children they safe. If not good thing, they for don't involve their children for this kind of matter. Me, I don't want carry gun again. I don't tire. I know they carry gun again. Don't be by force. Make their children can't carry the gun.
Enough is enough. How long are we going to blame our government? We must agree to have a healthy society, a society that protects the weak while creating opportunities for the strong. Together, we can make this work. Let's give peace a chance. This information is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Let's talk football.
What a devastating strike!
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
What a wonderful goal! Fantastic strike!
As far as I'm concerned, sports is all about passion.
Sports Attack, weekdays 7:30 a.m. and today's Sports Live 3 p.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
For all you need to know in the world of sports, leave the dial on Today 95.1 FM.
For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Sports Attack on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. My name is Adekoya Odwanya, Nigerian first ever world silver medalist in wrestling.
Top of the morning to you and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Sports Attack on your premium news talk and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. Emeka Jena is my name and Chidubem Njoko is here with me for this one. Good morning, CJN.
Good morning. On a day when Anthony Joshua puts so much smiles on faces of many Nigerians, including the president, it's very good to be here, Emeka.
Right together, we shall be serving you the latest sports stories that made the rounds over the weekend in the ever-exciting world of sports. So don't go anywhere because we'll be right back to serve you the details after this timeout.
Hi everyone, my name is Ese Brume, Commonwealth and African long jump champion. You're listening to Sports Attack on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Don't touch that dial.
All right, let's start the show this morning from Taekwondo. We'll have this good news that concerns the Nigerian 2019 African Games champion. Chinazon Mosu is now ranked 16th in the December 2019 World Taekwondo ranking released by the world body. Chinazon Mosu won Nigeria's first gold medal at the 2019 African Games in Rabat, Morocco 3 months ago. Mosu, who started the year at 32nd place in February, moved 16 places, and this increased the pressure on her to qualify for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Now, the biggest winner was male under 68 kilogram competitor Ifeoluwa Ajayi, who rose from 501 to be ranked 96th in the world after having a busy international year. The team male captain and under 87 kilogram competitor Sunday Onofe rose from 166 to a current world ranking of 77, while Nigerian Army athlete Benjamin Okomose moved up 75 places to current ranking of 67. You have to say these lads have done quite well in the rankings. They've increased, they've stepped up appreciably, especially Chinazon, who is now number 16 in the world.
Very impressive, very impressive. And you just want to think of somebody jumping over 400 spots. I think that's massive, really. I wonder what had gone on between those spaces to jump, have that massive
That's Ifeoluwa Ajayi.
Exactly, but it's very massive from them, and I hope they keep up this fray. Taekwondo, not the most popular of sports, but come on, you have to appreciate what they are doing, Chukwumerije and the likes.
Chukwumerije himself, the technical director of the Taekwondo Federation, is an Olympic medalist.
Course, yeah.
He won a bronze medal in 2008 games over there in Beijing.
He's very experienced, puts his heart into the game, and of course, the results are what we see today.
All right, in handball, Morocco-based Benga Cole and 24 other handball players have resumed camp ahead of this Africa Senior Men Handball Nations Cup. The 2020 African Men's Handball Championship will be the 24th edition of the championship, and it will be held from 15th to 25th of February 2020 in Tunisia. Now, it will act as the African qualifying tournament for the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo and 2021 World Men's Handball Championship in Egypt. Nigeria plays against Angola, Gabon, and Libya in Group B. According to the Secretary General of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, Alhaji Maigada Sama Mohammed, the listed players have commenced camping since 1st December ahead of Africa's biggest handball championship in Lagos. And moving over to wrestling, President of the Nigeria Wrestling Federation, Honorable Daniel Igali, has hailed the performances of the country's wrestlers this year, describing 2019 as a very good year for Nigerian wrestling. Now, while speaking in his office in Yenegua, Honorable Igali, who is also the sports commissioner in Bayelsa State, added that the wrestlers who won lots of laurels at both continental and global championships this year have performed incredibly well and deserve commendations.
I think to date, the performances of the Nigeria wrestling team this year were probably the most outstanding of the past 7-8 years. Starting from the African Championships, where again our women became overall African champions for the 7th or 8th time in a row. And then looking at the Africa Games, where we again dominated not only as a female team, but as the overall team from Africa in female wrestling, male wrestling and Greco by coming home with 7 gold medals. Then the World Championships this year, where we qualified Odunayo Adekore for the Olympics by winning a bronze medal, historic bronze medal. She's without a doubt become the measuring rod in the Nigeria Wrestling Federation, winning 3 medals within 4 years at the World Championships. That is outstanding, and you can't really take anything away from her. Blessing Obodudu at the same competition was just 1 placing away from qualifying for the Olympics. She placed 7th instead of 6th. Mercy Genesis at the World Beach Games won a silver medal, and Blessing Onyebuchi became our world champion in beach wrestling by winning a gold medal. And those were the only 2 medals Nigeria won out of the team that was presented.
And still reflecting on the achievements of the wrestlers this year, the Olympic and world champion added that it will be difficult to surpass their feat, considering the lean budget the federation operates on.
As we speak, we have 2 athletes ranked in the top 4 in the world. Blessing Obododo is number 4 and Adekore Odunayo is number 2 in the world. And I doubt if there is any other sport outside of Paralympic sports that has 2 athletes ranked in the top 4 in the world. So if you put everything together, and that's just the competitions that have come off the top of my head. If we were to look at the Grand Prix tournaments we had in Germany, in Bulgaria, where we had our athletes win international medals, that goes to tell me that we had a very good season, a season that will be hard to replicate, especially when you compare the level of funding we have compared to what we were able to achieve as a federation. So looking back, I would say this was a very good year for Nigeria wrestling.
A very good year for Nigerian wrestling, according to President of the Federation, Daniel Igali. Moving over to athletics, South African, Nigerian, and Zimbabwean teams have qualified for the 2020 World Ultra Runners Championship at the Value Jet Remo 50 kilometers ultra race held in Shagamu and Ikenne. Dakpo Shotimimu, media coordinator 2019 Remo Value Jet Ultra Race, made this known yesterday. According to Shotimimu, Zimbabwe, who competed in the ultra race first time in the country's history, finished as the overall third placed team. In the women's team event, South Africans took we are top with the combined running time ahead of Nigeria, which was in second place. In the men's individual race, South Africa's Tobile Mbolekwa set a championship record in Africa with a time of 3 hours and 2 seconds to win the men's race. Nigeria's marathon champion, Elia Palm, was from Plateau State, finished in third position at a time of 3 hours, 12 minutes and 39 seconds. In the meantime, embattled president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, Ibrahim Shehu Gusso, has said that the federation will work diligently to unravel all corrupt practices in the body. Shehu Gusso said this yesterday in a news conference to address the situation of things happening in the federation. He said that the measure was in keeping with the President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to accountability and transparency. I will quote him. He says, on the inauguration of our board in July 2017, I was confronted with an allegation in respect of $450,000 paid to the AFN. I was accused of mismanaging the funds, and in keeping with the President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to accountability and transparency, I submitted myself to the relevant agencies for investigation. The individual reports exonerated me from any culpability, but raised questions which the agencies are diligently pursuing. My action is submitting myself to the investigated laid down foundation for the misunderstandings being experienced in the AFN today. That's the Shehu Gusso right there, the AFN president. Elsewhere, members of the World Anti-Doping Agency's Athletes Committee have demanded a blanket ban on Russian athletes competing at the Olympics. World Anti-Doping Agency WADA holds a key meeting in Lausanne later today to discuss sanctions. Russia was declared non-compliant for manipulating laboratory data handed over to investigators. A key panel has recommended a raft of measures, including banning Russia from hosting and competing in major international events. The International Olympic Committee has said it would be willing to allow Russian athletes who can prove they are clean to compete under a neutral flag as at last year's Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Let's quickly talk about the one that concerns us, the AFN, and the comments coming in from the president of the body, the embattled president of the body, Shehu Gusso, right there.
Really, who do you believe at this point? Is it the man that has corruption cases hanging all over his head, or the other parties now? But I think it's quite shameful that the AFM is where it is today. Normally, these things are associated with the NFF, not the AFN, but quite shamefully, this thing is coming out to the limelight. Maybe because we had to host the tournament in recent past in Asaba, and a lot of monies were involved in that one. Maybe that's why we're getting to hear all these things. But it's for the good, because the more the exposure, the more we get the truth.
All right. In boxing, Anthony Joshua became a 2-time world heavyweight champion with a unanimous points victory over Andy Ruiz Jr. in a tense rematch in Saudi Arabia on Saturday night. 6 months on from the night Ruiz stunned boxing, Joshua risking his career left in tatters with his second defeat, but served up at 36 minutes of movement and well-timed punching to take the IBF, WBA, and WBO titles back to Britain. Now, after cutting his Mexican rival inside the first round, he never looked back and picked out smart jabs and right hands throughout before being serenaded with a chance of AJ by 14,000 so fans in the Diriyah Arena. Now, Ruiz never looked closer to landing a knockdown, and when scores of 118 to 110, 118 to 110, and 119 to 109 were read out, Joshua jumped up and down in the ring in celebration, and just as the man who had wrecked his US debut did in June. And speaking after his victory, Joshua admitted he could have done more to kill off the fight, but would rather keep it simple.
I can knock people out when I want to, and I can box when I want to. So tonight was just about winning and trusting my process. I know maybe I could have done more at times, but sometimes simplicity is genius. And that was the motto, is keep it simple because it's going to lead to a genius performance. So it was outclassing the current champion.
All right, that was Anthony Joshua. Let's now hear from the man he defeated on Saturday night, Andy Ruiz Jr., who has a word of apology for his fans.
All my supporters, all my fans, all my loved ones, I'm sorry I let you guys down. I know we didn't get this victory, but it was a learning experience, man. I know I should have trained harder. I know I should have taken more serious, but he won, no excuses. But best believe I'm going to come back stronger. Thank you, everybody que me apoyaron. Gracias.
All right, in the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has hailed world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua for reclaiming his titles in a rematch with Mexican Andy Ruiz Jr. on Saturday. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari saluted Joshua for bringing joy to millions of Nigerians at home and in diaspora. I'll quote part of the statement. It says that the downfall of a man is truly not the end of his life. There's always another and better day. This is a lesson we must all learn from you as a country. All right, President Buhari to Anthony Joshua right there. Chidubem's success, they say, have many friends. And of course, he has Joshua getting commendation even from the president of Nigeria.
Yeah, it's funny because this is a man who bears a British passport and fights for Britain, but we have claimed him these days. Of course, he has an Oluwafemi in between his names, so who says he's not Nigerian? But good thing, the man is definitely representing both countries now, Nigeria and Britain, very, very well. Lost his belt, and so many people didn't give him a chance coming to this one. But come on, this is how to answer your critics, and he's done it in style.
All right. Do you see him going for the big one against either Wilder or Fury sometime next year?
Sometime next year, I don't think so. I think he's going to wait. Maybe take on the Alexander Usyk and the other ones that will come on the way. But I think he should give it some time.
Is that the fight the world wants to see?
The world doesn't want to see that. The world wants to see Tyson Fury versus Wilder now first, before we talk of Anthony
That should come up in February, God willing.
Exactly. So if that one comes up, then we can see Joshua versus any of them.
All right, in the meantime, let's shift our attention to football and let you know that all is now set for the commencement of the Today FM Under 20 Soccer Fiesta, a tournament built to unravel young talents in around Port Harcourt. Now, the competition, which was earlier slated for 1st to 14th of this month, will now kick off at the scheduled date of Wednesday, 11th December. And of course, it will end on the 21st of December at the Treasure FM pitch. That's where it will start. Hopefully, it will end at the University of Port Harcourt Sports Complex. The opening ceremony kicks off on Wednesday before the opening match between BK Vandals and the Oyoyo Superstars. That one will be coming up by 1 p.m. There's also another match on the opening day. We'll tell you more about that one. In the meantime, let's shift our attention to the MPFL, where it was the Festival of Goals on March the 7th of the Nigeria Professional Football League, as 23 goals were recorded across 8 match centers, with Rangers International and Enyimba missing out on the action owing to continental engagements. Israel Abia was the star of the week as he netted all 4 goals in Sunshine Stars' 4-2 win over bottom place Nasarawa United in Akure. Meanwhile, league leaders Plateau United suffered their first defeat in the league this season after going down to a 1-0 defeat against Heartland at the Okigwe Stadium yesterday, courtesy of a Chubundo Amas effort 70 minutes from time. Now, the Just Base outfit, however, maintained top spot in the table with 14 points from 7 matches despite the loss, as Wikitoris missed the chance to secure top spot following a 2-0 loss to FC Fayobah Yoruba in Nnewi with Tochukwu, Anwe Yago, and of course Ikenna Cooper on target for the home side, the Anambra Warriors. Elsewhere, Kano Pillars picked their second win of the campaign, trashing Delta Force 6-1. You heard it right, 6-1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6-1 at the Sani Abacha Stadium. Chijo Kalakwe scored a brace. David Ebuka, Abdullahi Musa, Alwalu Ali, and of course Rabiu Ali were all on target for Pillars in the encounter, while Balaya Yazhuza scored Delta Force's only goal. At the Akwa Ibom International Stadium, that's the Gospel Akwa Ibom International Stadium, in the Freke, Effiong netted a hat-trick as Akwa United registered their first win of the season, courtesy of a 4-0 thrashing of Adamawa United. Let's talk you through all the results of matches played yesterday in the MPFL. Kano Pillars in Kano trashed Delta Force 6-1. Heartland FC secured a 1-0 victory over Plateau United, the first defeat for Plateau United this season. FC Famiba beat Wiki Torres 2-0 in Nnewi. Warriors played at a goalless draw with Lobi Stars. Abia Warriors equally played at a 1-1 draw with Aqua Starlets in Umuahia. And in Katsina, yes, Katsina United defeated MFM by a lone goal. Tasiu Lawal with the only goal from the penalty spot in the first half. Aqua United, we are impressive in their 4-0 thrashing of Adamawa United. In the Frek FM, we told you scored a hat-trick, and that's the first win for Aqua United this season. Elsewhere, Sunshine Stars secured a 4-2 win over Nasarawa United. Give it up for that man, Israel Abia. He scored all 4 goals for them. But he's not the first man to score 4 goals in one match in the MPFL. Definitely. We've even had a player score 6 goals in one match in the MPFL here in Port Harcourt. Edward scored 6 goals for Dolphins against Nembe City, and the Christian Piagbara scored 4 for Sharks against Sunshine Stars. So come on, but not a mean feat at all from that man, Israel Abia.
Very commendable. When you get to score 4 goals in a game, and what's special about it is that it was all the goals scored in the game. It was not like it was 4 out of 10 goals or something. 4 goals were scored, and he scored all of them. That's massive.
That's for his side, yes.
Massive, I tell you, for the man. And it's just fun how much the MPFL gives us the goals this period. A lot of people have been saying the MPFL is boring, and I wonder if at all they are following this season. This season has been very, very fantastic to follow, and of course the goals are everywhere.
The goals are everywhere. Goals are plenty. 7 of them yesterday at the Sani Abacha Stadium. Kano Pillars beating Delta Force by 6-1. Let's go to the continent. Enyimba Rangers were in action yesterday, and in Aba we started where Martin Susule came off the bench to score his vital winner as Enyimba recovered from a sloppy first half display to beat San Pedro FC of Cote d'Ivoire 1-0 in the CAF Confederation Cup at the Enyimba International Stadium. The visitors kicked off brightly and appeared to have taken the lead when Roland Zambi found the net in the 3rd minute, but the effort was ruled out for offside. Usman Abdallah, that's the Enyimba coach, however, made 2 changes minutes into the restart, throwing in Debiton, Anna Yoiwal, and Martin Susule for Stanley Dingba and Samson Obi, before the gaffer was eventually forced into a 3rd change moments later as Abiodun Adebayo replaced the injured Ifeanyi and Nemena. Iwala's introduction proved vital as the petty winger caused several threats with dashing runs down the right before he played a role in the game's only goal. Usule with the only goal of the encounter. I think it's time to hear from him, the goal scorer for Enyimba, Martin Susule.
Yeah, the victory makes me feel so happy because we went for the Continental Games. We lost in Morocco. Coming back home again with the performance, I was very, very touched when I was the bench when the game was not going on well. But after the game, the victory, and me coming out from bench to score the goal, it was a joyous thing for me. Before I came, I have it in mind. Even I start or I come from the bench, I'm going to score a goal.
All right, Martin Susule, right there. We also had him on the show moments after that match yesterday on Today's Sports Live. Elsewhere, Enugu Rangers lost their 2nd group game in the competition away to Al Masry of Egypt, right there in Alexandria. That match ended 4-2 in favor of the Egyptians. The hosts, who got an away victory in their opening game at the FC Nodibu of Mauritania, went ahead in the 5th minute through Nigerian forward Austin Amutu, who was set up by Mufta Takak. And of course, ended that way, 2-0. Rangers falling right there. Let's serve you all the results of matches played in the CAF Confederation Cup. In Group A, Pyramids FC of Egypt hammered FC Nodibu 6-0. Al Masry defeated Rangers by 4-2. And of course, in Group B, Horoya of Guinea thrashed Al Nasri 3-0, while Joliba of Mali were 1-0 winners over Best Beats of South Africa. In Group C, Esai were beaten at home by Daring Club Motema Pembe 2-0. It ended. Zanaco of Zambia played at a 1-0 draw with RS Bekane of Morocco. And in Group D, Paradou AC of Algeria lost at home to Hassania Agadia of Morocco, who have now won 2 matches in as many games. Eyimba, we told you, beat San Pedro by 1-0. So Eyimba, second on the table right there behind Hassania Agadia, while Paratu and San Pedro occupied the last 2 positions on the table right there. Mixed reactions there from mixed fortunes for the Nigerian teams on the continent. Eyimba winning at home, Rangers faltering away from home, 4-2.
Expected as well. I don't think too many people expected Eyimba to go, Enugu Rangers to go away from home to Egypt to go and get a victory or even get a draw in that one. But good thing they put up a fight in the dying minutes. That's what's more important. The fact that they gave it a push, albeit too late, getting those 2 goals just in the final 5 minutes of that encounter. But I think they have another game to see if they can push for a place in the next round, which looks very unlikely for them. But kudos to Eyimba. That's the team that looks more likely to get out of the group.
All right, they are currently second. Eyimba, Rangers, bottom of the group after 2 defeats. Let's go to the Premier League in England, where Manchester United stunned Manchester City with a devastating first-half display as they won 2-1 at the Etihad to leave the champions 14 points behind leaders Liverpool. United, we are as spectacular as City. We are poor in the first half as the visitors raced to a 2-0 lead. Marcus Rashford's penalty via VAR put them ahead on 23 minutes before Anthony Martial squeezed a low strike off the post from 18 yards 6 minutes later. There was VAR controversy as City were denied a penalty after the ball hit Fred's arm from a Kyle Walker cross late in the first half, but they didn't have the deficit until the 85th minute through substitute Nicolas Otamendi's header from a corner. And speaking after the encounter, City manager Pep Guardiola remained adamant his team was the better side in the fixture.
We were better than them. They used 3 or 4 counter-attack dangers, but they defend so deep, but we were better. I am so happy, glad, not happy, but we lost, but I'm satisfied the way we played and the chances we no create because we are there at the end. We are not clinical enough, but they defend with a lot of people, 9-10 players there, using the pace for James and the other one.
All right, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on the other hand, had this to say after the match.
The boys executed the plan to perfection. Apart from their keeper made a couple of decent saves, and we created so many chances. You can talk about our defending today, but you have to say that the attacking play, especially first half, absolutely fantastic. Every time we had the ball, I felt now we can score here.
All right, it should have been quickly. According to Pep Guardiola, the better team lost.
Well, that's according to him, but who cares? what matters at the end of the day is Manchester United beat them at the Etihad, and of course it looks like the title is goodbye, Man City. All right, elsewhere, British police yesterday arrested a 41-year-old man after a video posted on social media showed a supporter apparently making racist gestures during Saturday's Manchester derby. And we can also let you know that Kelechi Iheanacho started his first game in the Premier League this season, and the forward showed some impressive form, scoring and assisting as Leicester City routed Aston Villa 4-1 at Villa Park to go within 8 points of league leaders Liverpool. Iheanacho was on the bench in midweek after impacting Leicester's comeback win against Everton when he scored and also got an assist. Looking at all the results of matches played over the weekend in England, Everton defeated Chelsea by 3-1 on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Bournemouth were beaten 3-0 at home by Liverpool, and Tottenham Hotspur thrashed Burnley for 5-0. Watford played at a goalless draw with Crystal Palace. Manchester City, we told you, were handed a 2-1 defeat at home by Manchester United. And on Sunday yesterday, we had Aston Villa suffering a 4-1 loss at home to Leicester City, who are second on the table. Newcastle United beat Southampton 2-1. Sheffield United secured a 2-1 away win against Norwich City, while Brighton and Hove Albion played at a 2-2 draw with the Wolves. Later tonight to West Ham versus Arsenal by 9 p.m. Nigerian time. And of course, let's go to Spain and let you know that Lionel Messi celebrated his 6th Ballon d'Or award with a brilliant hat-trick as the Argentinian etching his name into the history books again after pulling clear of Cristiano Ronaldo's 34 La Liga trebles to stand alone with one of their best performances of the season. Barcelona cruised to a 5-2 win over promoted Mallorca on Saturday, keeping pace with Real Madrid and regaining the league lead. Looking at results of matches played elsewhere in La Liga, on Friday, Villarreal played at a goalless draw with Atletico Madrid, and on Saturday, Real Madrid beat Espanyol 2-0. Granada
defeated Deportivo Alaves by 3-0. Valencia came from behind to beat Levante 4-2. And Barcelona, we told you, hammered Mallorca 5-2. Yesterday, Eibar lost at home to Getafe by a lone goal. Real Betis defeated Athletic Bilbao 3-2. And we can also let you know that Real Valladolid played at a goalless draw with Real Sociedad, and elsewhere Leganés did beat Celta Vigo 3-2, with Osasuna drawing 1-1 with Sevilla. In Italy, Italian champions Juventus suffered their first defeat of the season on Saturday with a 3-1 loss against Lazio in Rome, blowing open the Serie A title race. Maurizio Sarri's 8th-time reigning league champions remain second in the table, 2 points behind leaders Inter Milan, who were held to a goalless draw by Atalanta after 15 matches. And of course, looking at all the results of matches played over the weekend in Italy, Inter played at a goalless draw with Roma on Friday night. And of course, on Saturday, Atalanta did beat Verona 3-2. Udinese, they played at a 1-1 draw with Napoli, while Lazio trashed Juventus, the champions, 3-1. Yesterday, Lecce played at a 2-2 draw with Genoa. Torino did beat Fiorentina by 2-1, while Spal lost at home to Brescia 1-0. Sassuolo drew 2-2 with Cagliari, and Parma defeated Sampdoria by 1-0 away from home. Inter also did secure an away victory over Bologna right there. And we can also let you know that in Germany, we have the results of matches played over the weekend. Started from Friday, when Eintracht Frankfurt drew 2-2 with Hertha Berlin. And on Saturday, Borussia Dortmund hammered Fortuna Düsseldorf 5-0. Borussia Mönchengladbach handed Bayern Munich another defeat, this time winning 2-1, while Augsburg did beat Mainz 05 2-1 as well. RB Leipzig secured a 3-1 victory over Hoffenheim, while Freiburg beat Wolfsburg by a lone goal. Elsewhere, we can let you know that Bayer Leverkusen defeated Schalke 04 2-1. And yesterday, Union Berlin beat FC Cologne 2-0, while Werder Bremen lost 1-0 to Paderborn. That's a rare win there for Paderborn, who have now won for only the second time this season. And finally, we go to France, yes, where Victor Osimhen once again proved to be the savior for Lille, as a strike in the 16th minute was all the French side needed to edge Brest and move up to third on the table. And elsewhere, Montpellier were handed a 3-1 defeat at home by Paris Saint-Germain, the champions. Monaco defeated Amiens 3-0. Nice did beat Metz 4-1, with Strasbourg beating Toulouse 4-2. Chidibembe, a quick wrap of what happened in the major leagues in Europe, apart from the Premier League. We talked about the Premier League already. La Liga and the other major leagues in Europe.
Yeah, for Bayern Munich, it looked like they were going to keep their manager, their interim manager, but unfortunately 2 losses on the bounce, and they have to be looking for a permanent manager at this point in time. But Victor Osimhen, good one, is always scoring decisive goals, and that's the way to go. Hopefully he gets a bigger club next time and not going to Leganes like Omeria suggested.
And how about Messi getting his 34th, is it 35 now? Yeah, La Liga hat-trick, yes.
That's good. He was always going to come. At least we knew that as long as he stayed in the La Liga, it was always
shattering
going to
those
happen.
records.
Of course, it was always going to happen. Good one, brilliant player. The less we talk about him, the better. One of the most talented players we've seen in history.
He came to the Nou Camp with his 6th Ballon d'Or with his family as well, and of course crowning it with a hat-trick on the day as well.
Way to go. And the GSM were in action as well, getting the goals.
All right, Griezmann, Neymar, and
Suarez and Messi.
All right, massive one right there for the lads. And of course, that's the size of the package, which was actually put together by Chidubem himself. Meka Jena is my name. The sports crew will be back after the news update at 3 p.m. to look back at what happened over the weekend in the ever-exciting world of sports. Until then, do have yourselves a wonderful day and keep your dials locked on this dial. Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Morakosi! Thank you.
Never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
ojúmọ́ ti mọ́ mi nílẹ̀ yìí o. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́ mo ríre o.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Christmas is here, Messy, let's go. There'll be a Maui, yeah. WAJEYJ, yeah. Sorrow for my be alright.